Thanks for joining me, Grandpa Paul. I'll be watching this when I'm an old man, going, that's right, I did 33, alcohol free. Will I watch this drinking alcohol in the future, or going, whoa, haven't drunk since then? I don't think so. I'm already thinking about, on the way home tonight, I was like, yeah, well, maybe I'll drink once a month. I'll do a 30-day no drinking, 33-day no drinking. Monthly, I'll have a monthly drinking session. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Who knows? Not me. I'm glad I'm doing these videos. I know 100% if I wasn't accountable with myself, this is why I'm doing these videos. If someone else watches and gets something out of it as well, yay. If not, this is keeping me accountable, and this is why I'm doing it. Having to make these videos every night is making me not drink. I know. I would have drunk if I hadn't been making these videos. 100%, I know that. So thanks. Cheers. Cherry and cranberry juice tonight. None of that blue Pepsi like I did last night. It's still in the fridge. What are you drinking? Ah, cheers to that. Chink. Thing I noticed today, or this morning, so I got a pimple here, in a crack, in a little crease in the nose. I haven't had a pimple for years. So maybe my body is detoxing. Interesting. Pimple face. Oh, good. Also, I had a chat to a friend at work, and we talk about drinking alcohol and maybe cutting back. And he asked, so you drinking? I said, well, I didn't tell him I'm not drinking. I said to him, oh, I'm doing some research about alcohol at the moment. He goes, oh, that's good. And then I started downloading. I said, you probably the reason you drink, and this is what I said to him, probably the reason you drink is to relieve stress. But I found out that alcohol, it will at the beginning relieve stress, but then as you're drinking, it actually causes more stress on your body. And then then when you sleep, you actually don't actually have a good sleep. So you wake up in the morning and you don't have a good sleep. So therefore you're not doing the things the next day which has caused you to have stress. So therefore I started explaining this to him, and he stopped me. He goes, I could see his head was like, oh, I don't want to know this information. He's like, mate, if I want to know that, I'll ask. I was like, oh, sorry. So I started shifting his beliefs because I just went straight into the stress thing. You're probably drinking because of the stress. And he's like, yeah. And then I explained why it doesn't help. And he didn't like the fact. And he was like, oh, he stopped me. Stop there, mate. I don't want to know. I don't want to know this. Yeah, I was like, sorry. I'll leave you in your beliefs. Next time I see him, I won't talk about it. Unless if he asks. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into it. Stop the rambling. Quote, as always, I am. Two of the most powerful words. For what you put after them shapes your reality. I am dot 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 dot. I am a man with a pimple. That's what I am at the moment. But interesting. That was from Gary Hensel. Words shape our reality. I suppose we're talking about that now. Few videos that way. Few videos ago about keeping positive language. I am. If you've ever tried to make a change in your life or start a new habit, you know how easily negative thinking and self-talk can defeat your best intentions. Yeah, you can start the day strong and full of optimism. Yes, let's go. But as the day wears on, you run out of energy. That voice inside your head can get louder and more insistent until it becomes easier to give in. Like a kid trying to get some ice cream in the back seat of the car. Oh, there's some ice cream. Maybe you deserve ice cream. No. Sometimes it can feel like there's a constant loop of negativity playing in your head over and over. Louder and louder. That voice. It's possible you've been experiencing this your whole life in sort of different ways, coming from different ways. The good news is that you can change it, changing our natural self-dialogue. Sounds interesting. The better news, it's not difficult. Okay, sounds good. Though it might take some time and practice. Okay. Awareness is the key. We got the key. It's awareness. Let's talk about becoming aware of your self-talk. Recognizing what you're telling yourself in the first step. And one way to become deeply aware of how you're talking to yourself is to imagine that voice inside your head that's chattering away is actually another person. So make it another person and listen. It's not yeah, okay. Get what you mean, Annie. This is Annie talking. The alcohol experiment. Imagine you're sitting in a chair next to you. Imagine they're sitting in a chair next to you and just listen. What are you chattering about? It's like this little monkey. Monkey. You don't have to listen to that damn monkey. Listen to them. Chatter on. Would you ever let a real person talk to you like that? Shut up, mate. Like my friend, he shut me up. Don't tell me this. I want to know, I'll ask. Would you sit and listen to all those negative stories? And would you humor them as you went on and as they went on and on and on? It's like, I gotta go. Bye. Of course not. We wouldn't. You would never in a million years let someone sit next to you and never shut up about everything that's wrong with you. You wouldn't be hanging out. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Once you personify that voice in your head as an actual individual, you realize how intense and insistent it is. Simply by becoming aware of this self-talk, you have unlocked the door. Awareness is the first key. Realize what you're saying to yourself. I think we were saying earlier, if you notice a shift in your emotional state, realize, what was I thinking before that? What was that monkey chattering about before that emotional shift? because research shows that most of our thinking is recycled from the day before. In fact, up to 80% of our thoughts from today were probably also thoughts we had yesterday. So it's like a recurrent, your brain is used to thinking that way, and the monkey's telling you, I was telling him this yesterday, and he was feeling sad. He wants to feel sad. We often give in to what our inner voice is saying simply because it's so repetitive. It is so repetitive. And repetition masks itself as truth. So that monkey telling you the same thing, you're like, it becomes normal. What am I? I'm not that monkey, that's for sure. When something becomes familiar to us, like a thought pattern, we believe it's because it's familiar. Relax into that familiarity. This is how advertising works. The more often you see an ad on TV or a magazine, the more likely you are to believe its claim. That, I think, in advertising is called the saturation method. So whatever you're telling yourself over and over again, eventually you're going to start believing it, even if it's blatantly not true. It's not true. Stupid monkey. Self-talk and cravings. During this experiment, you might be doing a lot of self-talk. I actually want you to recognize two different types. You have the self-talk that is kind of conniving, that will do anything to convince you to pick up that drink. This type of self-talk involves both justifications and comparisons. We'll repeatedly tell ourselves that we need the alcohol, that we won't be okay. I won't be okay without it. That we won't be able to sleep without it. And that, hey, just one won't hurt. I was thinking that, but I was like, actually one will hurt me at the moment because I'm trying just to be alcohol free. Just one. Oops. So this video series is helping me. Help, I need it. It's also easy to justify our own drinking when we compare our behavior to other people's. Yeah. If you're a regular drinker, you might say, well, at least I'm never fall down drunk, or at least I'm not as bad as so-and-so. You know that so-and-so. You're not as bad as them. If you're a binge drinker, you might say, hey, well, at least I don't drink every night. That was me, actually. I don't drink every night. But when I do, I do. I'm an extremist. Either I do something or I don't. Notice if you're making these kinds of comparisons. Some other self-talk you might be hearing in your head includes things such as, oh, this is too hard. This has really been too difficult. I'm not going to be successful. I might as well just give up now. I think I was thinking that one. I'm not going to be successful, so I may as well just give up now. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be having a drink sooner or later. That's what I'm thinking. But accountability is huge. I'm glad I started this video, and part of it's like, I've committed to this, and I'm gonna have to share when I don't complete it. So you try doing videos as well. Get this book, The Alcohol Experiment. Do your videos, even if you talk about talk about what you think and keep it private. No, the fact that it's working for me is because it's public. I don't know. You work out. How will you get your accountability? Good question. Don't know. Find someone else. Chat to me. Find someone that you will have to tell if you drink. I guess that's in somehow. I'm telling Grandpa Paul. I'm telling myself in the future. And I want to look back and go, wow, I completed it. And if glad you're watching as well. I'm rambling. I need to keep going. All these things are just stories that you tell yourself, and because you repeat them so often, you don't even hear them anymore. You just accept them as true. But are they true? It's not, I am going to be successful. So that thought itself is not true. Well, I think I'm going to be successful. But like I said, these videos are keeping me accountable. So you have to stop and hear them again and become aware of what you're telling yourself. So the awareness of what am I thinking about this experiment? What am I thinking about me as a person? What are you thinking about? Can you hear that monkey? That way you can make a conscious decision about whether they're actually true. We need to know what we're saying to ourselves to be able to assess them. Some people we've been through this process find it's helpful to personify the repetitive voice. Some people call it the wine witch or the alcohol monster. I've called it a monkey. I've done it already. Mine's a monkey. Do it. How can set your monkey free? Do it. Do you love your monkey or do you love me? Do you know that song? George Michael. Monkey. Monkey. It's a monkey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you see the voice as something that's not you, it's easier to see through its manipulation. It's not really you. Here's how to recognize that the voice is not really you. It tells repetitive stories. It has one single aim: to get you to drink. It is one-sided and it is also manipulative. It's trying to manipulate you. So it must be some. If you're getting manipulated, is it something else? A monkey going, hey. You are stronger than the voice, and it will quickly weaken when you recognize it for what it is and put some distance between you and it. Give it some space. It's very noisy. Yeah, we'll get that. There's this chatter and it can be noisy. It's like a little child in the back seat of a car, says Annie, who is desperate for an ice cream. I said that before because it was in another video. She's repeating it now. Like I said, she always listens to me and then writes it again. She's watching. She's not going to give in easily, but ultimately, you are in charge. Your life, you get to choose, not the monkey. Self-talk and self-worth. The other type of self-talk, which is possibly more insidious, is the constant negative dialogue we have in our own minds towards ourselves. This is when we beat ourselves up and are harder on ourselves when we would ever be on another human. So we're harder on ourselves even more than we'd be harder on someone else. So, but here's the thing, you did not create yourself. Ooh, she's starting to get deep. So think about that for a minute. You didn't create yourself, but you are here. You are breathing. You did not choose to be here breathing. You didn't create that beating heart. Your hair color, the lack of eyesight, and those other things which make you you, you didn't choose or create. And because of that, you have no right to treat yourself badly. You have no right at all to treat yourself badly. That's the most important thing to realize. Anytime you catch yourself in that negative self-talk, or you start beating yourself up, take out a notebook or your phone and write down, type it down in your phone what you're saying to yourself. Begin to realize what the monkey is saying. Write the exact words. Really work it out. And then sit with them, read them back to yourself. Would you say that to a child? Would you say that to your mother? Or a good friend? Would you say those words? If not, then let's try to stop saying them to ourselves, okay? If we wouldn't say them to someone else, whatever those words are, you owe it to the universe, so the energy of the universe, or if you like to call it God, or whatever beliefs you have in creation and how you got here, it doesn't really matter. But living your best in this life probably does matter, and treating yourself with empowerment does matter. It's not enough just to repeat a positive mantra. So not the positive mantra stuff in the mirrors when you wake up. I am a beautiful princess, and today people will recognize me for who I am. No, you know what I'm saying. When you talk to yourself like you would talk to your own child or someone that you really love, you will find that you'll find your whole life will change and will start to shift as you empower yourself rather than beat yourself up. I'm not talking about now and then. I'm talking about all the repetitive chatter, monkey that's going on in our brain. The words and the tones that we would use, try and cause what you say to yourself to be the words and the tones. The way you say it would be the same as you'd say it to a loved one, someone that you love and want the best from. It's like, I guess, if you're given this little child, even though your parents may not have looked after you better, but if you have given a child and you were trying to help it grow up and have love, you'd talk to it great. Well, the thing is, you are the child that you have been given. You are the child that you need to talk to and try and empower through life. All the time. All the time. Becoming aware of how you speak to yourself is the first step. So being aware what we currently do. Then the second step is actually changing, shifting slowly, not straight away, of course. We've had so many years of talking like this. Slight shifts, even just changing it a little bit. Most people think this is difficult because they've been beating themselves up for so long that it's become a habit. and you can't get rid of a habit easily because it's a neurological connection in your brain. It's actually an unconscious loop, something that repeats itself over and over and over and over every day, and it will do the same thing the next day because you're reinforcing that to yourself. By definition, a habit happens without even thinking, so you got no control. It's unconscious behavior, unconscious thoughts, unconscious chatter that repeats. Once you wake yourself up and become aware of the habit, you have to make a conscious decision to change it. Consciously, you've got to try and change that chatter. And to do that, you have to rewire that those connections, and make a new path within our brain to create a new cycle of talk and chatter. We could make it happy chatter if we realize and focus on these new chatter habits. And to do that, you have to rewire those neurological connections. So, and then create these new behaviors we want. It does take effort, but hey, it sounds like it's worth it, doesn't it? Does it sound worth it to you to spend time? I will look into. I like this stuff, this subconscious rewiring stuff. I did some NLP things before. I will look into dreams, and I saw there was this Alzheimer's to help people who had Alzheimer's, or just I think it was this certain parts in your brain, grey matter or something. I can't remember. But the important thing is they said that if to help stop getting worse with Alzheimer's but start getting better, they had this experiment where they did aromatherapy at night. So it was for a week. Each night there was a different scent: apple, raspberry, lemon. So each night had a different scent while you were sleeping, and they went for a month, I think. So the 7 days, and they cycled the aromatherapy scents, each night different. And they said there was I'm sure it was over 200% better, like 230, 200 shift in Alzheimer's. That stuff amazes me. Your brain, because when they were sleeping in their subconscious, for some reason, the stimuli of a specific area of our brain that does scent, it helps the connections. For some reason, I don't know. It was a quick video, so I thought it was amazing. So I love this sort of stuff. So I will deep dive a bit more into that. Where was I? The power of gratitude. Here we are. What helped me, this is Annie speaking, to get out of the habit of negative self-talk was gratitude. I consciously bring up to mind everything I'm grateful for, even the dumbest little things. I'm grateful I have a phone to actually do this with. We are so... You are watching this, however you're watching this. Be grateful for that. So Annie says I consciously bring to mind everything I am grateful for. So it makes sense. We start to rewire our brain to start looking for things that are grateful for. And that can become a habit. If I consciously do that every day, it creates a new loop. Imagine a monkey telling us, be grateful for this, be grateful for that. That I'll keep that a friend around. If she's and he says, if I'm writing in my journal, might notice the pen and think, I'm thankful that I can actually write. Some people can't read and write. I'm grateful that I can read. I told you she's always listening. And convey my thoughts on paper. Oh, look, there's the sky. The clouds are beautiful, and I love how they look against the blue. I'm so grateful that I'm alive and that I can see that. I'm grateful and I appreciate nature's beauty. I'm grateful that I can appreciate nature's beauty. In addition to running through this exercise, whenever you become aware of negative self-talk, you can also pick a time every day to stop and think over the past 24 hours and find 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. So have a grateful time. Set an alarm for a specific time each day where you need to just stop and be grateful for whatever's happening or what has happened to you in that day. Here's the kicker. You're probably not going to feel grateful. You'll probably feel cheesier for, yeah, this is stupid. You might think, I don't feel grateful and I feel angry at the moment. I am angry at myself, which is why I'm giving myself such a hard time. It's all about my behavior. I'm an idiot. It doesn't matter if you feel that way. It works anyway. Coming up with, I'm grateful that I've got emotions. I'm grateful that these emotions are used to help guide me in my life. You're suggesting to your subconscious that there's a different pattern it can use. There's a different way to talk to yourself. You're rewiring your brain to look for positive in everything. And that changes your habits. Trust that you are making changes in your brain, and even if you don't feel the results at first, yeah, I bet it will take a while, like, to rewire and get used to looking for happy, grateful thoughts. Yeah. Studies have shown, though, that this simple gratitude exercise can improve your overall happiness in all areas of your life. And I can say that in my experience, and he says, that's absolutely true. But it's going to take practice. What sort of thoughts do you want to have regularly? It's interesting. So yeah, let's try and be nice to ourselves, okay? Today, let's do a writing exercise to help you become aware of your negative self-talk. This is adapted from our purposes from Byron Katie's process of questioning our thinking called The Work. And that's at thework.com. Let's expose your repetitive stories for what they are and diffuse them in your subconscious. I like the idea of that. Your feelings are preceded by subconscious beliefs. So our feelings preceded by subconscious beliefs. So whenever you start to feel anxious or bad, you can work backwards to uncover the belief that caused the feelings. I think I said that earlier. Once you know the belief, you can use the simple strategy below. Here it is to help. Okay, let's go. We've got this strategy. Step 1, identify that you are not feeling your best. So identify that. I'm not feeling my best. And use that as a signal to listen to that voice that is happening. And what are you thinking right now? What are the thoughts going through your mind that caused you to not feel your best? What are the exact words and phrases you used? Realize them, write them down. That's step 1. Step 2, ask yourself, what are the beliefs and stories underlying? What do I have to believe to make this true? Whatever you're saying, what do I have to believe about myself to make the monkey true? Your monkey's saying it is like, well, he's trying to give you a belief. There could be, what's that underlying? That's step 2. 3, instead of trying to combat those stories or beliefs directly, let's be sneaky, okay? And just ask yourself how they make you feel. Don't try and change them. Just sit in realization of them. Step 4, look at the situation and ask yourself how you would feel without those thoughts. So go, let's just experiment. Like, all right, I've got this thought. This is how it makes me feel. It could be true, could not be true. What would I have to believe? But if I didn't have that thought, how would I feel? How would I feel? Imagine how the moment would feel if you couldn't tell yourself those stories. How would you feel if you didn't have the belief that makes it true? What if they just disappear from your mind? They're gone. How would it feel? How would you feel about yourself? Just emotionally. What would be different? Okay, here's an example. What are you feeling and thinking? I'm feeling anxious, my chest is tight, I have a sort of tingling running through me, my muscles are tight, these feelings give me pause, I back up and listen to my thoughts, self-talk, and I hear, I am never going to get ahead at work. Oh, I need a beer. Or, my kids are out of control. I can't believe I haven't figured out how to get them to behave. Is it 5 o'clock yet? I can't wait to open that wine bottle. Bought it this morning. I need it now. Or, everyone else seems to be happier than I do. What's wrong with me? I'll pour myself this drink. That will help me. 2, what stories and beliefs are underlying those thoughts that I need a drink? Maybe I believe alcohol would make me feel better right now because I think alcohol will help me relax and deal with the stresses in my life. Or I want to numb these uncomfortable feelings, just numb them. And I know alcohol can do that. 3, how do these stories and beliefs make you feel? Specifically, you might consider how the thought, I need to drink, feels in the context of doing this experiment and the fact that you are not drinking right now. Example, I feel uncomfortable and upset. I feel deprived. I feel weak when I think I need that drink. Feel weak that I need a drink to relax. I know that the facts say it won't actually relax me. I feel like giving in now will actually make me feel worse if I actually gave up. 4, how would you feel without these thoughts? What if you simply couldn't think that you need a drink? How would that make you feel? If that disappeared and I thought I couldn't think that I need a drink. If I couldn't think, if I didn't have the ability to go, oh, I need a drink, it will sound maybe something like this. I'm in a challenging situation, and yes, there are difficulties, but they aren't compounded by this sense of struggle over drinking. Or this, my mind is free to focus on ways to feel better that doesn't involve alcohol. It's not that it's not, I need a drink. I don't have that thought anymore. It's the empowering thought of, what strategies do I have to help me in this situation? Cool. There's a huge level of stress and anxiety you're building up here because you're feeling this inner conflict of wanting something you've decided that for now you are not going to have. When you become aware of these conflicting emotions, like I want to drink, an amazing thing happens. Your subconscious mind identifies these feelings as painful and naturally lets them go. It's like when you're a toddler and an adult says, "Don't touch that stove, it's hot." At first, you don't know what these mean. What's he mean? So you have to touch it. You have no reason not to. I don't understand these words. But once you touch the stove and burn yourself, you're never going to touch it on purpose again. It actually hurts. Oh, ow. That lesson becomes deeply ingrained in your subconscious, and you never have to think about not touching a stove again. It's the same phenomenon that happens when you simply ask yourself the question, how do I feel when I believe this story? Becoming aware of that pain. When you believe that you need alcohol to relax and you're not allowing yourself to drink, and when you believe you need alcohol to have a good time and you're not allowing yourself to drink, how does it feel? Pain. So the pain is the, I believe I need this to have a good time. This exercise works because it reveals your subconscious mind how painful certain stories and beliefs are. Your subconscious says, oh, these feelings are painful. And this miraculous thing happens. Your subconscious mind naturally lets go of that belief because it identifies the belief as painful. I need to get rid of that belief. You've got to push through this painful. We aren't always aware of our self-talk, and that is why emotions, even the negative ones, are such a gift. The emotional system that guides us. Emotions are the signal that something in our thinking is causing stress. Your job is simply to listen to your thoughts, identify the thoughts causing you stress, and question them. If this works for you and you want to know more about this lovely technique, it's Byron Katie's book called Loving What Is. Okay, we got on to the reflections. This is a long chapter. Keep going, Paul. So Georgia says, I went out with 2 girlfriends for dinner last night. We all drank water. There was a moment when we were having a great laugh over something, and I had the best moment mid-laugh, halfway through laughing. I can absolutely have a great time without booze. I was giddy with happiness over this realization. Slept really well again last night. Thanks, Georgia. Rodney. Realizing a belief can cause discomfort and that I can change that simply by asking myself honest questions is so empowering. You don't realize how we are programmed by commercialism and advertising. We want to believe that we know what's best for ourselves, but to realize that some of our habits, thoughts, beliefs, and just routines aren't actually our own ideas, but rather repetitive messages we take on as fact and live our lives by. It's very humbling. Taking back our own thoughts, our own ideas, beliefs have helped me feel whole again. Thanks, Rodney. Act. So alcohol culture and society. What's the awareness? We all have an evolutionary need to fit in with a group. It's a survival mechanism. We even have something called mirror neurons in our brain. If we see someone yawn, yeah. Did you yawn? tell me. Did you yawn then? Mirror neurons. So if you see someone yawn, scratch their nose, we're likely to do something. Do the same thing. Did you? Humans evolved to fit in with others. Think about it. When a prisoner has the harshest punishment inflicted, it's solitary confinement. Being separated from the group is the worst thing we can think of to punish a criminal. Whoa. So that's a belief that if I don't drink, I won't be a part of the group. Yeah. So it makes total sense that to fit in with the alcohol-obsessed society, it's the whole society is taking alcohol as normal. We have that need to fit in. I talked about that when I was talking about going to that gig, the band I wanted to see, and I didn't go because I was like, oh, I won't fit in. So if I don't drink, I won't be a part of the group. What a thought. That's a belief. So clarifying it. It's pretty easy to figure out where this belief comes from. We all observe evidence of this every single day. Our cultural conditioning particularly demands that we drink. We see alcohol all around us, even at church, at school functions, every baby shower, birthday party, wedding, alcohol always. It's really considered normal, isn't it? The same attitude used to be true of cigarettes. You remember when I'm used to saying alcohol. You remember when cigarettes were really considered normal, and all the cowboy movies, everyone was smoking, and it's just part of society. People smoked because it was just a thing to do. Everyone smoked. Doctors even recommended their favorite brands. The doctors were recommending it. That was the reality at one point. Of course, we know now that smoking is dangerous and never should have been encouraged in the first place. And only after many decades of pressure has smoking become denormalized. It's now normalized. So yeah, smokers are now put in the outside and not part of the group. They are forced to go outside to smoke. Don't think the alcohol industry doesn't know this. It spends billions of dollars each year on advertising to make sure we get the message loud and clear that they want us to think the cool people drink alcohol, the funny people drink, sexy people drink, and all the rest of it. And now, thanks to a new trend in alcohol marketing, fit people. It's the fit people that drink. That's right. The newest trend is to associate drinking with good health. Yoga studios have wine tastings. Low-carb beer brands spend millions on Super Bowl commercials with the really chiseled athletes. And articles circulate on the internet about how this wine or that spirit can prevent anything from cancer to Alzheimer's disease. She's bringing up Alzheimer's because I talked about it before. So according to the media, if you want to be cool, funny, sexy, and fit, you better be drinking alcohol. We've all experienced that feeling of fitting in when we drink with our friends, right? Yeah, you do fit. It's like people who are like each other. So therefore, if you both, we're both getting on it, there's just this instant camaraderie. It's interesting, isn't it? We feel cool, or at least for a little while, whether we're pounding beers at the basketball game. When our friends are gathered around us, we're all drinking, having a great time. Yes, we all feel like we fit in. The advertising works so well because it mimics our everyday behavior. Or maybe we behave this way, we do, because the advertising actually works well. Either way, let's get another round. Hey, it's half time. Quick, get a beer. Never mind the consequences in a few hours or the next morning. Never mind the arguments with your spouse or the lost memories. I can't even remember the end of the game or the raging hangover. You've got to be part of the crowd. So, yes, you probably drink to fit in, and yes, it's a cultural phenomenon. Society's view of non drinkers is that they are boring, they're buzzkills, they aren't any fun to be around. I find this hilarious now because I'm still the life of the party. We can be the life of the party, even without a drink in my hand. This is true. The funny people are funnier whether they're drinking or not. I found that making these videos not on alcohol, I tend to be more witty and quick thinking jokingly. More funny. More funny, more productive. That's a good reason to not drink. I'm funnier. I'm finding I'm funnier at work. And the lame people aren't any more interesting just because they're loaded. Yeah, if you're nothing, just because you're drunk doesn't make you automatically cool. You'll just be more awkward. But the mind is a powerful thing, and since we believe drinkers are more fun, they seem to be. Yeah, I think I'm good. Nah, you're just more awkward, mate. And so we drink, and even when we might not want to, we pressure others to drink, mostly to justify our own choices. You need to drink too. Make me feel good about the choice I made about drinking tonight. When I wrote This Naked Mind, so she wrote another book, over 7,000 people volunteered to read it and give their feedback. She was shocked to hear that so many people thought they were alone in the struggle to control their alcohol consumption. They all were like, I thought I was alone. If they all thought they were the only ones struggling, they thought if they questioned how much they were drinking, people would make fun of them and cast them out of the friendship circle. So they kept the problem hidden, and often hidden even from themselves. One of the main reasons people say that they can take it or leave it is because they've never tried to leave it. Ooh. Once I was honest about my drinking, suddenly others felt like it was okay to question their drinking too. Maybe that's why that friend I was talking to about work, I brought it up, and so he started questioning too. I made it a safe place to talk about it, but then I gave him too much information. So I'm not ready for these belief shifts. They worried about the effects on their health and their families and were too afraid to talk about it. In the years since I wrote that book, I've discovered that people who defend drinking the loudest are often the most worried about how much they drink. They desperately want to have the same amount of fun while drinking less, but they just don't know how it could actually be possible. The cultural conditioning is that strong. I also want to ask us, what kind of culture are we creating by choosing and supporting this sort of behavior? It's not popular to talk about it, and there is not a lot of evidence that alcohol's saturated culture is actually a culture, but there is actually a culture of violence. So alcohol does tend to bring more of a violent culture. Yeah. According to published study, 86% of homicide, nearly there, homicide, drinking. So yeah, people who were drinking at the time of the 86% of homicide, the person who did it was actually drinking. And domestic violence, it's 75% the cases. There's a hotline. I know it sounds like I want to wipe alcohol off the planet, but that's not the case. What I want is for us as a culture to be more mindful of the consequences and think carefully about what choosing to promote as normal, because you're part of the experiment. You have the unique opportunity to be mindful observer, and we'll decide ourselves what we want. Yeah, turn around. So the opposite is, if I don't drink, I won't be part of the group. So the opposite of that is if I don't drink, I will still be part of the group. Or maybe we could say it like this: if I don't drink, I won't. Huh. Oh, got it now. If I do drink, I won't be part of the group. So changing it to that. Interesting. Come up with as many ways as you can that the opposites are true, or actually even truer. Yeah, I will be part of the group if I'm not drinking. I could be the person that's part of the group and making sure everyone's having a good time. I am not hurting themselves too much or off getting a drunk girl getting taken advantage of. I'm part of the group looking after them. Definitely. And you need someone like that. So, yeah, because I don't drink doesn't mean I'm not part of the group. Me not drinking actually makes me more of an active and more essential person in the group. That's a good new way of thinking. So fitting in during the experiment, you might be worried that if you stop drinking, you'll lose all your friends, even if you only be doing it for 30 days, 33-day experiment. This can be especially challenging if you believe you'll be boring. So number one, don't preach. Maybe that's what I was doing. Nobody wants to hear all your research into the danger. Oh, that's exactly what I was doing. Nobody wants to hear about all your research into the dangers of alcohol. They already know most of it. Trust me. Yeah, he did know about it. He didn't want me to bring it up. So don't preach. I was preaching. And at this point, they don't want to be harassed about it. I'm not going to talk about anyone. He asked me. He didn't want to go as deep as I took it, though. He was just trying to make conversation. I became an anti-alcohol evangelist at first, yeah. So don't preach. So 2, be a positive example. Show your friends that you have just as much fun without drinking, so we can show that. Let them see for themselves. Don't spew up all these things and go, you should be like me. Show an example. If you're doing it cool and they're like, yeah, maybe, yeah. So don't isolate. Be as friendly as ever. Let them know you're doing this for you and it's just for me, and don't force it on other people. Be creative. You don't have to tell anyone you're not drinking. I actually haven't told people I'm not drinking. I say I'm doing some research if the topic comes up. If you're worried about how your friends will react, don't say anything. It's a personal decision, so keep it all to yourself. There's lots of ways to explain what you're doing. It's things say like, I can't tonight, I'm actually driving. Or I overdid it last night. I drunk enough last month for the next 2 months. I'm doing a bit of a detox and it doesn't allow alcohol. I'm on medication at the moment. What's the medication for? I don't know. I've got gout. I've had gout a bit of times. I've used gout as an excuse not to drink before. And I'm on medication. I'm dealing with gout. I'm trying to cut back. Don't feel like it. Just don't feel like it tonight. There's an important meeting tomorrow morning, so not tonight. I want to keep a clear head and be able to get the sales in the sales meeting. If you do decide to continue this 30-day experiment, yeah, we could continue for 60 or 90. If we decide, we'll see when we get to the end. And chances are that many of them won't get it. They actually won't understand. But that doesn't mean they will stop being friends with you. It can take time, but eventually most of them will accept our decision. Keep it all about you. This is just me. I'm walking this out. You don't have to. This is a change you've made for yourself. Make sure they know you aren't going to impose your beliefs upon them. I'm not a vegetarian going to try and get you to stop eating meat. Eat it. Here's some phrases that she used. I've just realized I'm happier when I'm not drinking. So, yeah, not tonight. I'm doing a bit of a health kick. I've joined the gym. I haven't been yet, though. I decided alcohol is no longer doing me any favors. I haven't been having fun with alcohol lately, so I'm not doing it for a while. Anyway, that's your attitude can affect how others in your group will treat this happenings. Notice if you're feeling smug or judging. Yeah, we don't want judging. Examine your own treatment of non-drinkers in the past. How have I? Yeah, no. Think about it. Do you have some of the same assumptions that you're afraid people will place on you? How I treated non-drinkers. Am I afraid that my friends are gonna have those upon me now? I'm now the non-drinker. Also, notice the actual reactions you receive from your friends. Your fears may be completely unfounded, and it's not going to happen at all. It's just you're making up this story. Maybe part of the monkey trying to get you to drink again. Your decisions not to drink may be a total non-issue. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. Mindful observation is the key to deciding this belief. Can you have as much fun? Can you have even more fun and fit in with your friends even more so without alcohol? The answer, she says she found out, was absolutely yes. Yes, man. I'm betting you'll come to the same conclusion, but don't take my word for it. Let's test it out ourselves. Let's see how we go. This was a long chapter. So, another hour video. I'm going to go. Don't want to keep you too long. Just over an hour. And I'll see you tomorrow. Whew. That was a big chapter. Bye.